connected, and there we are, live on Facebook. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ali Flamingo here in the Remedy Review, the home of the most important podcast in the universe, and that is Furious George. But first, here is That's Trash for the week. During a vote taken at about 12:30 a.m. last Wednesday, Republican legislators in the Oklahoma House of Representatives approved a bill cracking down on riots, granting immunity to drivers who hit protesters demonstrating on public roadways. Their argument for the case is that the people who hit protesters with their fucking cars only do so because they're scared of the situation. So, here's something else that's attached into House Bill 1674, which is a little bit more important if anybody has read something like, I don't know, the fucking Geneva Convention. But the bill also imposes punishments on any person guilty of participating in any riot, including a provision that treats all participants equally accountable for any murder, maiming, robbery, rape, or arson committed. So basically what that says is if there is any vandalism that happens at a protest, if you also were at that protest, you are now guilty of vandalism. If there was a murder that happens at that protest, you are now guilty of murder. I think we can see where this goes. Now the real question is, who the fuck in Oklahoma gets to decide whether or not it's a riot versus a protest, and why is it that they are the people allowed to do so? But overall, Oklahoma, House Bill 1674, that's trash. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest podcast in the universe, Furious George.
Yep, we out here. People are getting hit, and you know,
boom.
And it doesn't matter. Apparently, you can go to jail for getting hit. It's pretty trash, but you know, right? How dare you? That's very trash. We out here. The Furious George podcast, home of yogis and unicorns. Shout out to our guest and shout out to Ali Flamingo.
Yogi?
Yeah, yogis and unicorns. If you haven't put your application in for Ali Flamingo's unicorn exploration, then please do so right now. And I'm Legendarius 51.
Sam God, and to my left we got the lovely LaKeisha Mundy,
A
singer, now yoga teacher, and all around just amazing conversationalist. Welcome.
Keisha's
Thank
great.
you.
I realized right before we got on, as we were talking greasy, and part of our last conversation a couple of days ago, that Keisha's gotten so nice. Like, she went and like became full yogi, and I'm used to being able to talk a little more greasy with her, which is not a bad thing. She's gonna calm us all down. I have to go to her yoga class apparently, or else she's gonna cuss me out. So
I do yoga so that I can be nice to
you're
people.
right.
So that I don't go around cussing everyone out every time they piss me
Well,
off.
that's a big shift for you.
That's a big shift. We just have to get used to it. Is all. We're used to getting cussed out still.
I mean, yeah, you know, it doesn't just go away completely.
Right.
But
But yeah, we're out here.
yeah. 21 days isolated from the rest of the world. I think everyone needs to do this.
And then when you come back and you stand against the machine, people can run you over with their cars. So you know,
I might cuss
circle of
those
life.
people.
Right. Flipping the bird.
Wait, who are we running over?
You, I guess, the protesters
Which ones?
in Oklahoma. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
That's
I think
a good
it matters who's
question.
protesting. You know, I think that makes a
If you're
difference.
storming the Capitol,
then, yeah.
Even if they're on the sidewalk, can I run them over?
right? Yeah, that's yeah.
It's kinda weird.
That one kind of blew my mind a little bit. That one was.
You know, it's like they're making laws these days that are just like, not. It's like, why are you even making that law?
Yeah.
You know, that's not a huge problem. Like, how many people are getting like wrongfully accused for running people over or something, or like, how many people are really threatened? How many people's lives are really threatened when they're like traffic is stopped by protesters?
I'm also wondering if we can trace the paperwork back and the phone calls and the emails back to who initiated this thing.
It seems like it
You know?
stems. I mean, crazy people were running over protesters like on the freeway, and I don't agree with that. You know.
Yeah. But I mean, like, who's the person that said we need to change the law to make the people so that we can run people over, essentially? Yeah. Okay. We're gonna fact check as soon as we deal with these technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Oh, while we're on this, let's go to our commercial break. LaKeisha Mondi, please tell us about your yogi classes.
So I am offering classes in the park,
Hey.
usually Saturday and Sunday morning. I post about it on my Instagram account, which is Monday, MONDEI_yoga. I usually post there when I'm offering a class, and as of right now, they are free of charge, and we socially distance, and we're in the sun, and it's just great to get some fresh air and to move your body, and it's good for mind, body, and soul.
These classes fill up fast, people. So
Good.
get
Sales
at
pitch.
Mondi_yoga.com.
Check
I
one,
feel
two,
like I'm
check
like-
1, 2.
Not
All
that
right,
time,
Like
yeah.
a
but, you know.
plug.
I was saying a bunch of really stupid stuff a second ago. Good thing glad no one heard that.
Yeah. Go to yoga class, people. I probably need to go because I'm wild and I'm stressed out. But you know, I'll hit you up and find out where the next one is.
I think everyone in Sacramento is stressed out.
I think everyone in the country is stressed out right now.
Yeah.
It's been stressful times.
Wait till the
Say,
power
all
grid
around.
goes out.
That's what happened in Texas, apparently, for like a week or two during
Yeah.
the first blizzard in Texas from like 200 or 300 years.
Well, I mean, not from like natural, but like wait until somebody like when China or Russia comes over here and just listen, our power grids and our power centers, what's the word? The hubs, the grids, the basically where the electricity came from. Oh, that mic's still not on.
I experienced that too while I was in the jungle. Like we had 2 days of like no communication, like no Wi-Fi, no phone. I guess some guys or some thieves like were stealing copper from the power lines. I guess
Yeah.
this is like a thing.
That
where
happened when I went to Guatemala too. It was like, yeah, we
So
were
they
off grid for a little while.
Yeah, I guess people steal the copper out of
But-
like and they sell it like on the black market.
Check,
Our
check,
power
check.
centers here have no protection. Like
Check.
any one of us could just walk up and just like toss a couple of grenades in there. Like they're
Yeah.
like literally just drive up to it, hop out of your car, go, and there's no protection for them. So if they get attacked, we're just without power.
Yeah.
Well, plus cyber warfare.
They don't even need to like blow something up.
And there's the other part. Like, yeah,
That's
Say
I
that.
keep waiting for that cyber warfare to start happening. That's going to be lit.
What
I
is
mean, it's like governments hacking each other so you can just like get into their system and shut down like an entire power grid for New York City or something like that. You know, that's what they're trying to do. That's supposedly the next phase of what the next phase of warfare is all a bunch of hackers, a bunch of nerds you made fun of in high school.
China's gonna whoop us because China's been hacking our stuff for a long time, and they don't. They hack all of our information without any specific goal. So they just get as much as they can, and then they'll sift through it later and figure out what they can use.
Right.
And I'm like, that's pretty scary.
I feel like
Like-
it's so easy to do because we give so much of our information away freely all over the internet, like willingly, you know? So I don't think it's a difficult thing to do.
I think
I'm-
China's controlling us through TikToks. And a game
I
called
believe it.
Roblox. If you're a parent of a child over like 5 or 6
My
years old, you
nephew,
know of
yeah.
what I speak.
Yeah, my nephew.
Roblox is the devil.
I don't have to deal with that yet.
It's
But
evil.
Shout out to Stevie. Shout out to Dan the man.
Our number
Shout
one
out to
fan.
Christian.
Zzz.
We out here. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, homies? Get in the convo. Give us a topic. We'll run it.
What are these? My nephew is always trying to buy like this digital money too on these
Bitcoin.
games. No, it's like it's for games though.
Oh, well, yeah, like in Roblox, they have Robux, which you
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
with actual money. It's
Yeah.
like $1 for 100 Robux.
Yeah.
My kids have wasted a bunch of money on this shit. Like, you'll literally pay money to get so that your character in the game
Has money.
can have like a pet ladybug or something, a virtual pet that your character walks around with and feeds and stuff like that. But you got to pay like
Shout out
$3 to
Chimigachi. What was
$5
those
for it,
things that we had in
sometimes
the 90s?
Gigapets.
Gigapets.
Yeah,
Yes!
It's basically
Shout
is
out
like,
Gigapets.
I had a cat Gigapet, and you'd have to like take care of die. So you fit and take it on walks.
Died,
Little
you died.
like,
Put new batteries in it.
it's a little
Sure.
pixelated thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, the add-ons for the games are, that's where they make all their money. Get a bunch of kids that have access to their parents' credit card that can just run up $1 or $2 at a time. You get 1 million kids to do that. You're rolling in it.
Oh, dude, especially like
Yeah.
when your
Oh, it's a
card is
brilliant
like
scheme.
attached to your Apple ID, and it's like because there's games on the phone
Yeah.
too, and then they literally can just like buy it. Like my
Raw.
mom will be like, "I didn't buy this shit."
Yeah,
like, what?
yeah. No, my kids definitely know not to do that because they know how. I mean,
Yeah.
all their stuff is like logged into my Apple ID and it already has the banking info in there, so they could just be boop boop boop. But that's the one thing I will not stand for.
Dan said, "Let's talk about this bullshit cancel culture."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw he was mad about Pepe Le Pew got left out of some Warner Brothers thing. My thing is, kids don't care about Pepe Le Pew. First of
They
all,
probably
like,
don't even know.
Second of all,
Pepe Le Pew
they
Dan's
don't care about
canceled.
Bugs Bunny or any of that stuff, man.
I used to love Bugs Bunny.
Well,
Looney Tunes were dope, and like the music.
No, I love
Like all the music for that shit is
the
fucking
music
dope.
was lit.
Yeah,
Pepe
Oh, the
Le
music
Pew.
was amazing.
yeah,
Pepe Le
Looney
Pew was a
Tunes?
little rapey. I mean,
yeah.
I remember Chappelle pointed that out
Yeah,
in one
yeah,
of his
yeah, yeah.
stand-ups,
One
like
of the
back.
early ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I remember Pepe Le Pew as a kid, but I don't. Even exploring it as an adult, I don't have any correlation between Pepe Le Pew and like kind of being rapey. I've never been a rapey person. Let's put that out there. But as a kid, I don't
Did you
remember
just call
thinking
Sam
that, and I
rapey?
don't remember it
He
even.
pointed
like,
at me. I don't know.
you basically saying that
Rapey.
Sam is rapey for he's projecting, this rapey idea onto Pepe Le Pew.
I'm Well, I mean, come on. He's
He's
the whole
chasing
point of every
after-
episode
yeah.
was him chasing like some cat or something.
Yeah.
Like a
Some
girl.
pussycat.
Yeah.
And chasing him. First of all, that's interspecies, so that's just gross. But he's like chasing her around, just like, come on, and like forcing him,
Interspecies. Isn't he a
like
skunk?
grabbing her by the pussy. Basically.
He's a skunk though, right?
Yeah, but he always
Yeah, he's
thought
a
that the girl
skunk.
was a skunk because it would always come up that
Oh,
she would
right.
fall under some paint and it would paint a stripe
Yeah.
on her back, like
So he
every
thought she was a
episode. Yeah, and they thought that she was a
right,
skunk.
right.
He's like, give me some of that skunk.
Yeah,
booty."
give me
He's
some
like,
of that skunk.
I'm
Whoa!
not even a skunk.
It's
This is
gross.
horrible.
For all of you lovely women with skunk, unicorn applications to Ali Flamingo.
Whoa. Dan says he chased one cat for 75 years. He's a very unsuccessful rapist, apparently.
Oh my god.
Whoa. At least he was consistent. No? Okay.
Well, maybe she was a cat disguised as a skunk as well. I don't know.
Well,
75 years.
there was also
Oh.
the issue of the Dr. Seuss books getting cut. They're not publishing 6 Dr. Seuss books out of like 200 books or
What-
something that
which
he's
ones?
written. Just books that had like racial stereotypes that aren't up to date with today's climate, basically.
I didn't realize Dr. Seuss was racist.
Well, that's up for debate. But I think any white person from that era is a little racist. At
What do
least.
you think, Darius? What's your take on Dr. Seuss being racist?
I don't care about Dr. Seuss. So listen, I don't know, listen.
I'm going to ask the other black person in the room.
You know, I don't know anything about Dr. Seuss at all. And when these things happen, I don't read into them too much because just like everything else on the internet, it's just people arguing without any facts per se. Here's what I know about Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss had bars.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I know about Dr. Seuss.
straight up.
Whether he was
One
a real
fish,
doctor,
two
whether
fish,
his,
red fish, blue fish.
was his name
Ooh!
even Seuss? Yeah.
Ooh!
No, but like I remember sitting in Barnes and Noble, thing of the past. Sitting around in Barnes and Noble reading Dr. Seuss books one day. Like I just went in the kids section and got all the Dr. Seuss books, and I wanted to write some of it down. Like, hey, this is a hot 16 right here. Let's go. I'm going to the studio. Like, cause some of his books were like really, it sounded like some like MF Doom type rhymes. Like every syllable rhymed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He got
yeah,
like 7
like-
syllable rhymes
Yeah.
stacked up, bro. Like, yeah,
Bro, it
every
was
syllable
lit.
in the line rhymed.
I love
Wow.
Dr. Seuss.
But
as
I
a
don't know
kid.
anything about his personal and if he's racist. Like whatever. Like if we start dissecting every artist and canceling them for their pitfalls, we wouldn't have any art.
Well, yeah, because everyone is flawed and
Yeah.
everyone is prejudiced to some degree. Like, we live in a world where we stereotype everyone, regardless.
Yeah.
And they
So-
only cut like a few books. I mean, the publisher decided we're not publishing these 6 books anymore. It wasn't like anyone made them do it or anything. So it was kind of just like, people are just kind of making a big deal out of it, I think,
So somebody within the publishing company looked at it and was like, maybe these are a little weird. Let's kind of
Yeah, like the keepers of his estate, because he's no longer around. They just decided we're not going to publish these. It's not like they're still out there. They still printed thousands of copies that are in circulation.
Who else are
got
they
it.
trying to
And then
cancel?
somebody ran with it as a racist thing.
Yeah,
Got it.
well,
I
they
didn't
they
even look
did
into it.
they did stop publishing them because of like racial sensitivities,
Okay. Okay.
But they made the decision to. No one. They had gotten some pressure from like nonprofits and stuff, like maybe the NAACP or something like that. Kind of like was like, hey, maybe you should change this, and they were like, okay, you know what? Maybe we should. We're gonna stop publishing these 6 books, and you can still check out all the other Dr. Seuss books. They're still there.
Yeah, that's trash. Like whatever. Listen, Stevie put a good one in here. He said, let's talk about kids and anxiety these days.
Oh man, you mean every kid?
Adults and anxiety.
You hella far from the mic right now.
Adults and anxiety as well.
Yeah,
Kids nowadays
everyone in
having anxiety.
Well, let's talk about how now everyone is like, I need a mental health day or I have anxiety and stuff like that. Whereas versus when we were growing up, it was like, I have anxiety. Quit being a bitch.
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah.
have anxiety. I'm just gonna drink this 40 ounce of like malt liquor.
Well, also,
Because there wasn't okay to talk about our feelings, really.
Yeah.
At least as men.
well,
That's
I
a
think there's
no-no.
another aspect too. This big thing called social media, I think, plays a big part in our anxiety now. Because before, our anxiety was a little bit more excited. Like you're sitting at the house and you know that once you do your chores, you can go hop on your bike and go see your friends. And so it's like it's an anxiety like, okay, let me get this done. Let me get this done. I hope my dad doesn't ask me to do something else. I hope my mom doesn't ask me to do something else. Okay, it's all done. Okay, I can go. Boom. And you're out the door. Now it's like you got to pick this thing up every 5 minutes because when you get
Check your
100 likes.
notifications.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's an addiction too, but in some ways, like, and I'm sure this is like an unpopular opinion. In some ways, I was grateful for COVID because it forced you to slow down. I think we live in a world where it's just constantly on the go, go, go. Like everything is like fast and instant gratification and just constantly moving. Like you said, when I was growing up, I mean, you knew what boredom felt like, or you'd go outside and play, or life felt a little bit slower. And there's benefits to experiencing stillness and slowing down. and you're less prone to have anxiety when you do those things or when you spend time
But it
outside.
seems like with kids in this pandemic, from what I've seen, have just gotten more on their their devices
Well,
and
yeah.
social media and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it might have caused more anxiety, at least for children.
But I
you know?
feel like I agree with you, but I also think like we also saw more people spending time outside. Like when I tried to purchase a bike, I had to wait months because bikes were on back order because people are outside cycling now every day, or people are, no one wants to sit in the fucking house all day, like you said, glued to the phone or to a tablet or whatever.
Well, kids do.
But yeah, but I mean,
They
also,
think they do. That's the thing. They think they do because it's like an addictive
for sure,
thing.
but
It's like they get that instant gratification.
But that's why you kind of like, I mean, I don't have kids, obviously. Like, I'm not a parent, but like, I'm very hands on with my nephews. And when they would come over, I'm like, no, we're walking to the park. Like, you're not going to like sit here and just all day. Like, you have to kind of, I guess, make the ass go outside. When I was a kid, we weren't allowed to come in the fucking house.
Straight up.
Like,
I remember that.
Yeah,
Stay
like,
outside.
no, you can't come in. Go outside. Go play.
Outside and play.
Yeah, like unless it's dark, then it's time. But otherwise, no, you don't go in the house unless you have to use the bathroom or whatever. But that was a different time and
it
also
depends.
different
That
culture.
also depends. Because
Right.
if there's boys, you better just go pee on the tree. Wash your hands with the hose. But I do want to read Christian. I do want to read Christian's comment because it's pretty cool. He said, when we all grew up, if we were just at home by ourselves, we didn't know whether or not our friends were out playing with their other friends. We were just at home goofing around by ourselves and didn't feel bad about our friends hanging out with their other friends. So
Thanks, social media.
yeah, thank you, social media.
Wait,
so I think that's a
what?
part of
Oh.
it too. Like, I hate to sound like the old head, but I think a lot of it does come from the fact that we have these devices and the social media, because you were talking about it forced people to slow down
Yeah.
by being stuck in the house, but it also forced all of us to be looking at this way more, because now you're just sitting at the house doing nothing.
Well, I will say
In
this.
some cases.
I
in
will
some
say
cases.
when you say forced, it's like you have a choice. Like when you're at the house, it's like you don't have to be stuck on your phone. You're choosing to be and to an extent, or you can take your ass outside, go on a drive, go to the fucking beach. Like, you know what I mean? There's other options. And I do agree. Like, that's why I'm like, I haven't been on Facebook.
Yeah.
I can't deal with, like, Facebook gives me anxiety. It feels like it's filled with a lot of negativity, like toxic, I call it like trauma addiction. Just, it doesn't feel like it serves.
I want to ask
anything.
about this to both of you, about the negative aspects of what you see on social media,
Mm-hmm.
because that's another thing that we're not forced to do. I don't have any negative stuff on social media. All the wild stuff that like I see, and like oftentimes I send Sam and he doesn't even open my messages anymore. But like a lot of the wild stuff that I see, it's in that same vein. Like somebody has sent it to me.
Right.
But on my feed, I just have like musicians and artists for the most part, and some friends. And so I only see, I see, oh, she's out there doing yogi school. Or I
Yeah.
see, oh, Sam's making another video where he's playing.
Well,
his-
that's what people do on Instagram, but I
That's
feel
more
like on
Instagram,
Facebook,
yeah.
it's
It's
people
not like
getting
that.
on there to air their grievances.
But that's
We're
what
having the airing of grievances.
But that's
Facebook
what I
is
mean, on
so
any of them-
different
but
from
on any of them,
Instagram.
you can curate what it is that comes into your feed.
Well, yeah,
you
that's
can,
true.
but it got to the point for me where I had unfollowed so many people.
Oh, it's my
I'm
favorite
just
thing.
like, why the fuck am I on here? It literally would be every time I logged into Facebook, it would make me feel bad, or it would I'd feel angry.
Well, then, and when I see people arguing in the comments, I want to read that stuff.
it's
know,
it's
even though I
addicting,
don't
the
want
drama.
to, but I do, I'll sit there
Yeah.
and read, 97 replies to this one comment.
Which is
And
What
fucking
did he say?
crazy. Like that shit is wild,
Yeah, and it's literally over the dumbest, and it's not even like having to do with what the original post was at that point. It's just like at that point, it's like, why Trump's a liar, and the post wasn't even about Trump,
Oh,
Post was like, look at
dude,
these
I
pretty
got
pink
this-
flowers that I saw on my
The
walk this
Trump
morning.
shit was crazy. Like I think I posted something too, like during that time where we were voting, and I was just like, yeah, like, I'm never going to these states that are like red, and
You're right. Come on.
well, you already know, like, come on, why am I gonna go?
No, I'm saying, they were going to get on you for saying that.
Well, of
You
course.
don't go to a red state. What are you?
Yeah, like getting like upset about that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
of course you don't understand because you completely different experience, completely different culture. You're not gonna relate to that. And like the thread was fucking insane with like one person, one toxic person feeling the need to say however they felt, and it just turned
Actually,
crazy.
Wyoming is pretty awesome, and I'm offended.
It turned fucking crazy. Like
Actually, on that, shout out to the homie Byron. Byron be creating the fire controversial posts, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Byron,
homie.
if you're listening, I've read a lot of your threads, buddy.
Byron, he posts music shit though too,
No,
and
no,
like
I'm
and
not-
like
I'm not dogging him.
soccer. I feel like he's always. I don't know. I haven't been
Yeah.
on there in a while,
Yeah.
but
Why did Dan say hooray for Monday on a Tuesday? Because it's Monday.
oh, it is Monday. I don't know what day it is
It's
anymore.
Monday on a Monday. We forgot to say
Monday
that.
on a Monday.
Boom.
There are people in this town who actually call. Who was it? Because I've heard LaKeisha Monday, and I was like, that's not.
That's how I said it for like the first 8 years.
Because people don't know how to read. No, I'm just kidding.
Now I just think Al Bundy Monday. That's how I remember it.
Yeah,
It
but
rhymes with
Bundy is spelled with a U,
I know, but that's
Phonetically.
phonetically.
I mean, whatever I'm trying to say.
like how it sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
right.
No, it's all good. I used to be embarrassed of my last name when I was a kid, or like like badass kids. How when people call roll, like the teacher calls roll, and like the kids would laugh at you if you have a weird sounding name.
LaKeisha Monday.
So that would happen to me all the time, and I used to be so embarrassed.
I'll bet they
But-
just said it wrong every single time.
Yeah, they'll say like at church, I'm still getting called Moody.
Moody?
Yeah.
No,
They
she
think
said
you're a
Moondy. No, she said she
No,
has the
it's-
N
it's
in there. But
No, it's not. No.
Do they think you're like an
Why don't-
OG saxophone
why don't you
player?
correct her?
'Cause I
One of
mean,
us should correct her.
I don't care.
It's gone too long. You know
I
when you
don't
go
care.
so
It's
long
been
without
years.
like correcting someone that you're like, dang, they're gonna think I'm weird for not correcting them sooner. I'll just let them keep calling me that.
That's trash.
Yeah. No, it's just funny. There's so many different ways to say it.
Personal
But
question.
there's only one correct way to say it.
That's
There's a lot of
true.
wrong ways. There's only one right way. Was that camp? Was the school that you went to? Was it only women?
No, there was one guy.
Okay.
Guys are allowed to go. Just meat's not allowed.
No meat. Oh. I see what you did there.
A little bit of sausage. But that's it.
Just
No, they don't allow. Yeah, so it's they provide you 3 meals a day, and it's basically everything's like vegetarian / vegan. Some stuff's vegan and like gluten free, and but they don't allow any like meat or meat products. Actually, I have a funny story about that though, because
how funny.
my roommate, the girl I was living with, she was kind of wild. And I think she like snuck out of the sanctuary one day and like went and bought like some chicken and rice and like brought it back onto the property and like
You're not supposed to leave the sanctuary the whole time.
you're not allowed to leave. Yeah, pretty much.
Yogi
Like-
prison. Let's go.
Well, you are
Let's go.
My
Like,
the end, you're like
well,
a
there's
member of the
some.
cult. I'm not going home.
Speaking of cults,
I wanted to talk about cults. I'm trying to segue.
It's not a cult.
what's their name? Do you think we can open up a chapter here in SAC? Let's open up a
Can we
yogi
start
cult.
a cult?
Yeah.
I feel like there's already cults here. Like,
Who's running
like
the fire
two big
cult in SAC
capital
right now?
I don't want to go there. I don't want to piss anybody off.
Too big? You mean
Wait,
Capital
wait.
Christian Center?
No. Anyway,
Say it. This is the safe place to
no,
say things like
yoga's
that.
not. It's not a cult. It's
Don't try to
Well,
sidestep
yoga
it.
overall is not a cult, but a lot of yogis
Yeah.
are like,
Cultish.
there's some cultish yogis out there, you know?
I feel like anything can turn into a cult.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like if it's a spiritual leader that's like actually bringing spiritual wealth to their followers, or if it's someone that's just manipulating them and trying
Right.
to like have sex with all their wives.
Well, yeah, the
like David Koresh.
intention. What was the movie about the guy? There was like a movie with the guy on Netflix.
Yeah, he was
Oh, I've
lit.
seen
Tell me
them
about
all.
these two cults that you were talking about.
The one with they thought he had guns or something.
Oh, the one in Oregon.
yeah, and
Yeah, what's that guy's name?
they did like a whole
Wild. It's called Wild Country.
Wild
or
Wild
something
Country.
like
That
that.
was
Yeah.
Osho. That
Yeah,
was the
Osho.
Bhagwan.
That
No,
guy
this
had
was
like an army.
different.
Like he was like a gangster ass cult leader.
Hey, bro, listen. I want to say this because that lady that he kind of screwed over, the way she said his name, like I was
The
like,
lady that was like his assistant.
I
That
was
like
like-
killing people for him and stuff.
after they had the falling out, still after all those years, the way that she said his name, I was like, I don't know if anybody else feels that way about anybody. It was like with such love and passion.
Right.
She was like the Bhagwan, and I was like, she
Bhagwan.
loves him. Like he tried to kill her, and she still talks about him with such reverence. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Dang.
I'm thinking of the guy. It's with the specific guy though, and he wears the glasses.
That's
That wasn't
Waco.
Osho.
Yes.
Oh, that's
That
what
shit.
we were
Oh, we were
talking about
that
before.
earlier.
Yeah, I wanted
Dave
to talk
Koresh.
about that.
That
Let's
shit
go.
right there was crazy.
That's the
Wait,
she's
no.
talking about Waco, the Waco incident. You know, they had the compound. David Koresh had a cult,
Yeah.
and it ended up getting raided by the feds, and like a bunch of people died,
I
including
watched that
children.
with Matt. Yeah, I think
They were
that was-
trapped in the basement, and like the ATF was like firing all these like this tear gas and all this stuff in there, and it caught fire, and like the people were trapped in the basement, and they all died.
and they never found guns,
Of course, they never found guns.
right?
I think they had some guns.
You know what? It's
Well, they
crazy
were in
because
Texas, of course
X
they were.
Files.
Yeah.
Do you guys? So I was on an X Files binge for most of lockdown, and like just watching like every season. And they have an episode about that too, about the same thing. Like it's probably based on the same guy, and he was like making them like commit suicide. I guess.
Well, and that's that guy. There was another guy that's famous for making all his followers drink the Kool-Aid.
That's what the X Files episode is based on.
Yeah, that guy
Yeah.
was. I can't remember his name, but that
Roy
was
Jones?
a really famous one.
I love how Alex is just like on
Always
it.
fact checking.
He's awesome.
Yeah, that guy. He
Jim
Jim
Jones.
Jones. That was another very famous cult. Jonestown.
Yes.
And
it's-
Christian
yeah.
pointed out, didn't Osho own 100 Rolls Royces?
Yes.
He did. That was something I was gonna say. Like he would like drive through the middle of his like the little land that they had with just like a caravan of Rolls Royces, and all his like peasant followers would come out and
Bro.
throw
It-
flowers.
It makes
So-
me sad. The Osho thing makes me sad only because like there's 2 books of his that I actually love.
No, Osho spit fire, bro.
And I'm like, fuck, why do you
No.
have to be a cult leader? Like,
No,
A
no,
lot
no,
of
no,
those
no.
people do the things that they say are
Are
beautiful.
real, yeah.
yeah. he
I
has
used to
some
watch the
meditation-
Osho videos long before I knew any of the wild stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, this dude is fire. And even the way that he talks, and then he would always, somebody would ask him a question, and he'd be sitting there, and he always had his hands folded.
Mm.
And he would always, like, before he answered the question, he would, like, look at his hands. And I'm like, what type of meditative is in his hands? I got to start doing that. Let me just fold my hands. and
It's
just,
weird.
Is he
I've
seeing
never
the future
seen
in his
him.
hands?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never seen him like talk. I've
Oh,
only I've
look
just
on YouTube.
read
There-
2 of
there's-
his.
His talks are dope.
He
like, I
has
mean,
yeah.
not all the culty stuff that he was doing, but like if you just watch the way he talks, it was really cool.
Well, and the people, like, if you've seen that show, the people in the Oregon community, like the small town folks that were like hating on them and trying to get rid of them, I didn't like them either. You know, they were like just so afraid of anything remotely different. They were just the most.
Well, he was trash because remember, didn't he like bring a bunch of homeless people from like somewhere and then like just registered all of them and had them vote all of the people in that township
they like took over the town and then they ended up like poisoning the water supply or something. It wasn't cool.
Yeah,
it was not cool.
So
and he ended up getting like kicked out of the country and everything.
Shout out Osho, bro. He was out
Shout
here
out
wilding.
Osho.
He was out here.
You should read. He has a book called Meditation. I think it's Meditation, the First and Final Freedom.
That's
And he has another book called Body Mind Balancing, which is really dope as well.
Yeah.
We were also talking about too. You remember how David Koresh was basically he told everyone in the compound they couldn't have sex. They had to be abstinent so they could be on a more spiritual path. But then he was having sex with everyone's wives because he was like, well, I need to create a spiritual army of like God's chosen children.
He would
so
say
I
that
need
he'd
to
have a
impregnate
dream.
all your wives.
Yeah, he'd like dream it or something, and then it's just some
He'd just
bullshit.
be like, hey, Carl, I had a dream about your wife. Send her up. I mean, can you imagine just swallowing your pride to just be like,
but
okay, baby,
that's
head on
how
up.
crazy,
He needs
like,
you.
brainwash. Like, you know, it's just you
So-
really have to have this belief so much. You're just like, we were kind of talking about that too, with like these agreements you've made in your head that this is true. So because we all have agreements that we've made within ourselves of what's true and what's not.
girl,
But
talk that yogi stuff to me, girl. Come on, let's go.
I'm trying not to get too philosophical here.
Let's get
but-
straight metaphysical.
But
Right,
seriously, you know, and just think about like that's how powerful our minds are, that you can have a thought or something that you have decided to be true, and now that thought dictates how you move in the world.
And then you can convince other people
Yeah.
to do it is like that. Yeah, that's pretty
People
wild.
who are maybe weaker or more vulnerable,
Yeah.
you know?
Some people are looking for answers. They're at that point in their life where they're really vulnerable to someone being like, everything you've ever been told is a lie. I have the truth.
Yeah.
And then they start feeding them all this stuff, and the people are like, wow, like this is crazy. And then they're willing to like disconnect with everything that they thought was real. And there's always like a cutting off of the family and stuff like that. There's all these patterns with cults where, you know, they make you cut ties with your family because they're like, your family is going to try and hold you back from your spiritual awakening.
Keep you away from the TV, keep you away from, at this point, social media, keep you away from everything to...
Except when they make you get on there to, like, give a testimony for the cult.
But I guess I say that to say, like, even, like, people like us, regular people who are not in cults, we still have things that we believe to be true. That, you know, I'm saying it's the same idea, basically, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, yeah.
But my belief is to try to not believe in as many things as possible, or just like to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, a lot of things I won't say, well, I believe that. I'll just say, well, most of the evidence is showing me that, so that's what I think is my best guess of what the truth is. I really don't know the truth about anything.
Right.
Like, I keep the mystery open in my head.
Right.
And that makes you, to me, that makes you less susceptible to be manipulated by other people's truths, because, you know, even if they're telling you something that's really convincing, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go check a few more sources and get back to you on that, you know?
I love believing things, but I also love switching it.
Jesus!
Like, if you tell...
Sorry.
Don't act like you wasn't singing for the Lord yesterday.
I was singing for spirit.
Spirit move.
We did. You gotta be smooth.
Yeah, they did some Desiree and they did some Janet Jackson.
Yeah, that's not a traditional, you know.
I'll give you that much.
Our church believes you're whole, perfect, and complete just as you are this second. So it couldn't possibly be a Christian church.
Or Catholic. Sorry.
Shout out Midtown.
Shout out all the Catholics.
Yeah, definitely not Catholic. So a lot of Christian churches are actually really loving these days, though.
Dude.
I've noticed.
So, cults. I just remember something about cults. I don't know if this was a TV show or a movie. Something I saw on TV or a movie. This dude was wild. He was like an orphan, and then he grew up and created a adoption agency. But what they were doing was they were giving people specific types of kids, and he was the father of all of them, like hundreds of kids. So what he would do was they were like kidnapping girls, and he was impregnating them. So like if you said you wanted a baby that's prone to be an artist, they would kidnap some young girl that's in college. They were kidnapping like college girls and like girls that had just graduated that were artists or scientists that had blonde hair, that had blue eyes, and he was impregnating them. And so he had hundreds of kids. And that was like his legacy.
He's spreading his
So
seed
dark.
far and wide.
It was nuts. I was like, whoa, that's a cult.
That
That's
wasn't
a bunch
a
of
true
people-
story, was it?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Wait.
I don't know. This last year.
Seriously, be on some dark shit.
Then I
Like,
will.
No. Well,
Jesus.
okay. So I have
I have a
children,
friend that
and so
told me
like
this.
I intake a lot of stuff as I'm going to sleep. So like every other night, I'm watching some new junk on Netflix and watching this and that, but I'm going to sleep as I'm watching it. And this has been going on for like a little over a year now, for this pandemic. So it's all a blurry. Like I remember, okay, that goes with that and that, but I don't know where I saw it at. It was on Netflix or Hulu or one of those.
Sounds like some Netflix.
Sounds like an episode of Blacklist, you know?
Black Mirror.
Yeah, I did watch Blacklist, so that could be it. Yeah.
That show's crazy.
That show was that. Yeah, it was
Alex said whatever weird ass church.
I usually don't mention it by name because I don't know if they want to be associated
Yeah,
with this podcast at all.
probably
in any
shouldn't
way,
do
shape, or
that.
form.
Probably shouldn't do
So
that.
I'm gonna leave their name out my mouth.
It's called the Congressional Unitarian Unicorn Conglomerate. Let's go.
The unicorn church that Alex goes to.
You go to a unicorn church, Alex?
No, I just
Oh,
pray
I
that
don't
way.
know.
Let's go. Church of the Unicorns.
Yes. Now we're talking.
Actually,
be a
I would
lit
be
cult
down.
if
Yeah,
that,
I'm like,
We
I'm
started
down.
our cult and it's based around worshiping unicorns. People are gonna hop
I
on
might
that
go.
bandwagon
I
and
might
it's
go to
fine.
like the orientation just to see. Like, what is this shit
loving
about?
this.
LaKeisha, thank you. You just.
I'll get you an info packet. We can talk about it
me
later.
know. I'm there. They have ayahuasca ceremonies.
Yo.
Actually, I think for the unicorn party that Alex is talking about, he'd more want like Somali and some blue chew. You know, what I'm saying?
Ayahuasca
But,
beats all of that
Yeah,
shit.
you know what?
She still doesn't know.
Yeah. All right, I can't
You
keep
guys
doing this
are-
to you,
I don't
Keisha.
wanna know.
Keisha, a unicorn is
I
somebody.
don't wanna know.
All right, if you
No.
all right, we're living
We
in
can talk
ignorance. It's good. It's
after.
good.
You're
That's
gonna
a
know.
running theme of our show. Shout out unicorns. Look it up.
No,
Look it up.
no shouting out unicorns.
Do you know what a unicorn is?
She just said she
She
didn't
just
want to
said she
know.
didn't
We'll
wanna
leave it. We'll leave it.
Well,
Post
I
about it.
think of like the cute little unicorn.
You're
You
not
know,
wrong.
like the rainbow horse with
How
things
naive you
sticking
are.
out. Yeah, I forget you guys are gross, so I forget who I'm
Slight left
talking
turn.
to.
Well, it's not that we're gross. It's just that we know
Oh, I'm
gross
gross.
things.
But,
The internet
I'm
messed
definitely
me up.
gross.
It's
for
not
sure.
as gross as you think. It's a girl that's willing to have a threesome with you and your partner.
That doesn't sound like unicorn to me.
It's
That's
just
what they
somebody
call it.
who's like consistently down to join in on a couple. It could be like a male or a female or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
called a unicorn.
So this is a nickname they've given to like
'Cause it's-
swingers.
yeah,
Kind of.
basically.
but specifically a person that's joining in with a couple. Like,
Yeah.
it's rare to find. That's why they call it a unicorn, apparently.
So Alex's church is just one big orgy.
Basically.
You know what?
Yes.
If I was if I were to pray, I think that's the way I'd do it.
Well, I mean, they do that up at like
His church
Burning
is
Man
just
festivals or
orgies
something,
and
right?
communist propaganda. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds like a pretty good way to have
I
church service.
I feel like this already exists though at like all these fucking hippie festivals.
Well, yeah, actually it does, minus the communist propaganda, because people don't give a shit about politics at a hippie festival.
Burning Man, let's go.
But there is lots of orgies happening.
We're gonna be socially distancing at Burning Man this year in the desert.
Yeah, they're gonna be making love like they did on Demolition Man. Shout out Demolition Man.
Well, Vice said that it's okay for non-at-risk vaccinated people to hook up now, according to the CDC.
I don't even know what that
Okay.
means. What does that even mean?
That means that Netflix and chill is back, baby.
Netflix and chill been around. You see all these quarantine babies left and right. Like everyone
well, I
I know
haven't
is
seen
having.
many bastard quarantine babies. I've seen like husband and wife quarantine babies.
Regardless, they're all quarantine
Yeah,
babies.
because this had to do with young single people
Yeah.
just trying to get that hookup. Vice had to let them know it's okay now.
Shout
it's
out,
okay if you
shout
get
out,
nookie from your husband or wife. All right, you're good.
Yeah, if you weren't having sex with your husband or wife because it's a pandemic, then you were taking this thing
Yeah.
way too seriously.
What about couples who
Chill
live
out.
together and aren't married?
Yeah, them too. They're lit too. But we're talking about single people going over to each other's apartments.
Yeah,
hooking
like
up
getting on
randomly.
Tinder and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know?
Shout out quarantine babies. I just wanted to say that.
Shout out to my
quarantine
baby.
babies.
And there's a couple other babies on the way that are quarantine babies. Yeah.
Yeah, the homie.
Yeah.
We won't say his name because he's weird about it, you know.
Punk Beezy. You know who you are. We'll talk
You
later.
never listen to the podcast, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed that one.
No, we lit. Shout out to quarantine babies. Shout out to people getting back together on Tinder.
So
and
what,
Netflix and
I went on Bumble during or not Bumble. There's this new one.
a new Tinder?
No,
What is
it's-
Bumble?
No, it's not Bumble. Ah, fuck, I can't remember what it's called. But I went on there for a second. Like,
Where people like, let's see your vaccination paperwork.
no, it was more like I feel like it's just more like meeting people platonically. It wasn't as like
That's what women think it is. When guys, she's definitely giving up the goods tonight, man. She said meet for coffee. It's on.
I
It's
can't
lit.
remember what this shit is called. But Matt, of course, is the one who told me
Oh,
about it.
okay. Damn. All right.
Throw
Putting
people under the
everyone's
bus.
business
Yeah,
out there.
yeah, straight
Here we
up.
No,
go.
this was hella long ago. Well,
How
this
long
is how
ago?
how he
Like
met
20
his
years ago?
person.
Oh, okay.
And
He said his person.
I'm not
Wow.
trying to like
His person. I've
his
never
baby
heard
mama,
that.
basically. But no, yeah, and it wasn't. I mean, people write in their bio or whatever, like, you know, meet for coffee, social
I'm
distance.
down to hook up. I'm down
You
to
know?
have sex,
So,
but you
let
must
me
wear
explain.
a mask.
No,
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain
can you
something.
imagine wearing a mask while having sex?
Yeah, I'm not worried about your face anyway while
You
we're
gotta, wear,
banging.
you gotta wear a condom and a mask, and we're good.
Listen,
No
Okay.
kissing.
no matter how cute
No
you,
kissing. Dudes
No.
are like, hell yeah.
no matter
I
how.
feel like guys would be down for that. They don't give a fuck. Like,
Listen, let me explain something to you. No matter how cute you are, once we're naked, I'm not that worried about your face. Let's keep it 100. Now,
Your poor wife.
I don't know
Hey,
where.
I
I talk,
don't know
I
where
talk
this is
greasy
going.
at home, please.
I'm only missionary position, stare deep into your eyes, and thinking about Jesus the whole time. Okay?
Guaranteed to get COVID.
So,
Yeah.
me explain something
Don't
to you
breathe in my
about-
face.
let me explain something to you about men and this Bumble and Tinder and whatever else the new thing is that you threw the homie
I
under the
literally
bus
was
about.
on there for like not even. I mean, first of all, Sacramento is really fucking small, and you know, I think I ended up like briefly talking to someone who like used to work at Shady or something. You know, like that's how ridiculously small.
Well, yeah. That's the
You
running
know?
gag about SAC is that everyone has already had sex with all the same sexual partners you've had sex with. And I've been seeing that apparently women in Sacramento are just super cutthroat.
I wouldn't know.
And dudes will be
But
like,
also, we're talking
she's not
about like
texting me back.
a
I
smaller
don't know.
community, like the artists in Midtown community is kind of what we're talking about. Why don't you go over to like Carmichael or Citrus Heights or something?
Oh,
Run on up to
Negro,
Antelope and see what's
please.
popping, bro. What's popping in Rockland?
Well, you know, on these apps, you can do like a radius thing. So
Yeah.
it got so bad where it was like, the app was trying to match me with people in like Lake Tahoe, you know, or like
That's how far you got to go to find someone you don't know. Like find someone that you
Like,
don't recognize
here,
from Shady Lady or
here's
B-side.
someone we suggest
Right.
for you that is like
They're like, oh,
very
in
far away.
Fresno. There's some people
Fresno
swiped
people
on you in Fresno.
But that is how it always goes. We're like, Sacramento is so small. Well, where do you go? Well, I usually go to Shady Lady. All right, go somewhere else.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
like I basically
gotta
ended
go
up like deleting this thing
Yeah,
off my
but
But
phone.
most of the like bars and clubs and stuff out in the sticks are like not places you really want to go.
They're
Like the
not.
Blind Pig.
But you
got to
go up there and go to
some shit.
Go up there and go to
Trust me, you don't wanna
Starbucks
do
and,
that.
and try your
Nah,
luck.
Sacramento is
Go order a frappuccino
if you're in
in
your
Folsom.
30s, there's no dating in
Do people?
Sacramento.
Well, I mean, it's all online. Like, do people even just use pickup lines anymore? Do you just like see a girl at the bar and you're like, oh, I want to try and meet her. Let me see if she's on Tinder right now.
Right.
Well, people don't
Doesn't
meet
happen.
people at bars anymore. That doesn't even exist.
Darius is taking a pee break, y'all.
I really wouldn't want to meet anyone at a bar anyway. You know, it's kind of weird.
How about a grocery store?
Yeah, it depends.
Just throwing things out there.
Maybe
Batting cages,
depends
I
on
don't
what's in their basket.
Wow. Okay.
Wait,
I
hold
like
on.
that. You
While,
gotta-
we're, while we're waiting, like, what would be the things in the basket that's immediately nah?
Like if there's no fruits and vegetables, I don't know if we're gonna be compatible.
What if they do their, like, you know, fruit and vegetable shopping at the farmer's market and they only need their staples at the
Yeah, and they were just
Raley's or
going to get some
whatever?
fire meats.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
What's one item that's an immediate deal breaker if you see it in there?
Oh, that's a hard question. Maybe like steak.
Steak? Damn.
I don't eat steak. I don't know. I'm being
Yeah,
like,
you're
judgmental,
being a
but
little judgy
I
there.
am.
You know, now that you went to your yogi
But you
retreat. See some Impossible Burgers. She's like, oh, what's
dude,
up?
Beyond Burgers are fucking.
And she's like, you inviting me over for dinner or
no,
what?
Beyond Burgers are like the shit. I've been eating hella Beyond Burgers.
All right.
You have
Take
to
notes,
try a Beyond
gentlemen.
Burger.
Take notes.
Nicole said facts.
I don't know what she's responding to, though. There's a-
Probably the steak thing, because she doesn't eat meat.
Oh, okay.
I believe she doesn't eat meat.
Man, if
I
I
think
was
she's
single
vegan.
and I saw a girl with a fat ass steak in her cart, I'd be like, "What's up, girl? What's cracking?"
Yeah, but yeah. I mean,
What you gonna
whatever.
season that with?
She said F. Darius is
Oh,
stuck. Yep.
Yeah. Darius is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. In 5, 4. No, I'm not going to count down. What did Christian say here? Back in senior year of high school, a few of us put together our accumulative knowledge of who slept
Oh,
with
she
who,
ate some meat today.
and we came up with 160 people who are all connected sexually when we were 17. Whoa!
Wait a minute.
Y'all dirty. I
That's
hope you weren't riding
nasty.
bareback, okay? Which high school was this? Y'all are gross.
Sac High, it was your high school.
No. Wait, Christian, I forget. Did you go to McClatchy? Dang, man, I might have been on that list somewhere. Hold up. No, I think he went to Christian Brothers or something, but man,
That's right down the street.
but really if you think about it, that's probably what's happening with everyone's social groups. Accumulative knowledge. A few of us put together, and it was 160 people. How many sexual partners did y'all have?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because I was
17.
not getting it in like that in high school.
Yeah.
man. I'm a little jealous.
116. I was 116 by the time I was a sophomore, bro. Let's go. Sophomore in high school, I was at 172.
Well, this was accumulative.
He said you were on the list. Ooh. Did
What?
you?
You were
Yeah.
on that list?
Wow.
What? No.
Putting everybody
no.
on. Who is
Stop.
this person?
Just stop. Stop, Christian.
It's
Lies.
you and Christian putting people on.
That
Who did I
doesn't.
put on blast?
I'm not going to say it again because I don't want
Okay.
to put him back on.
Yeah.
He says, okay, he went to Sac High. Yeah, see, that's a Sac
I
High kind of thing, man.
apologize
We had a little more
to whoever
standards
put on
over at McClatchy. Okay.
Yeah, you were still on the list, Sam.
Sam's on the list.
That's
Wait,
a lie. That is a lie.
Oh my goodness. Sam's like, who? You guys are some heathens.
I'll
Sam,
tell you
you're on
right
that
now.
list, bro.
Back then, I wished I had a nice list of sexual partners.
Yeah,
going, but
yeah.
that list was like one person.
Oh,
long.
he said
So-
third base counted. So it doesn't mean that you.
Oh, it was a Sakai and McClatchy list. Third base counted.
What the
oh,
hell? I
okay.
can't even remember what third
Damn,
base
so
is.
Yeah,
y'all
what
were
are-
just
what are the
talking
Is
base-
about. I
third
wasn't in
base
on this
making out?
conversation.
Is that making out? What is that?
All right,
Foreplay?
let's get a fact check.
Is that a
Yeah,
hickey?
let's get a fact check on
like,
third
what
base.
is third base?
First, second, and third base.
Is
I
that
don't know what
oral?
they are.
Is that sucking a titty?
I don't
Hold
think
up,
that
hold
third
up,
base
hold
is
up.
oral.
Well, you say it like that.
God damn.
All right, third base. Wait, hold on. We've got the full run of baseball metaphors for sex.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. First base is mouth-to-mouth kissing.
Okay.
Second base is skin-to-skin touching, kissing of the breasts.
Okay. Second base, lit.
Or through the clothes, not actually through the skin for genitals. Third base is
Dry
touching below
humping,
the
I was just
waist
gonna
without
say
sexual intercourse. So
Wait, what
hand
was it?
jobs, blow jobs, fingering,
Oh, it
cunnilingus.
is.
So it's
I
anything
see.
that's not actual penetration.
Mm.
And then scoring is full penetrative
Home run.
sexual
Scoring
intercourse.
is such a like 90s.
Yeah. Oh
You
God, let's talk
know.
about some good '90s terms.
It reminds me of like this 90s movies. Like,
Before we get to the 90s terms, I just want to say this to Sam while I'm thinking about it. Sam, you got to go check out like episode or two ago of Flagrant, Andrew Schultz's other podcast.
Mm.
They had Alex Jones on.
Oh, nice.
So Alex
Conspiracy
Jones-
hour.
Bro, Alex Jones and Schultz. And I only watched like
Wow.
the first like 20 minutes and I'm like, oh, this is gold. This is nuts. And they went, I'm looking at it, they went for 2 hours and 43 minutes. So it was just,
Dang, nice. Yeah, I remember when he was on. I listened to one where he was on Rogan's podcast. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. Rogan was actually calling him on his shit because he would like go off on like five
Yeah.
different threads at once, and Rogan would just be like, "Okay, wait, back up, just a couple seconds. You said aliens were throwing Catholic priests off of mountains.
yeah.
Can we fact check that?
No, this was a completely opposite direction. Schultz is basically like, let's go. We're
Right,
gonna talk like he's egging them on. Okay,
right.
so
Stevie says third base is a rapper. I like that.
Nicole said, especially when the score is a quick layup. I'm sure 17-year-olds
Oh,
were
clown.
probably not
Yeah,
scoring
yeah.
too well.
Right.
shout out to Missy Elliott.
Let's all
1 minute
let's
man.
all admit, yeah, we weren't really laying it down back in those days. You know,
I'm
At
not
least I
laying it
wasn't.
down
I don't know
now.
about you.
Let's go. Shout out Blue Chew.
Shout out who?
Blue Chew. Do you know about Blue Chew? It's
No.
our soon-to-be sponsor. We hope. We mention them every episode. but it's
Basically,
a-
they're similar to Viagra.
Oh, nice.
but it's like a monthly.
Nice. As she eats the Cheez-Its. Oh, that's nice.
That was so casual.
Viagra seems like
but
it'd
it's
be
like
painful.
it's like a subscription, so you get like re-upped every month.
Yeah.
And he actually gave me some.
Would
Yeah.
you guys do Viagra?
I haven't done it yet, but
It seems like it would hurt, right? Like being
I
hard
think they
like
I
that.
think they probably got it dialed in now. I think that 4-hour erection stuff was like when it first came out. I think they probably worked on it a little more in the last.
I feel
20
like
years.
there's some herbs you could take that would probably do.
As we know,
Okay,
Yogi
Miss
Keisha,
Like there's a
golly.
natural remedy for everything.
What
Just
happened
drink
to the
some
old
roots.
Keisha that just came in here cussing people out? This nice Keisha with the herbs and the yoga poses.
I can still
downward
cuss people out.
dogs. All right.
Anyone that's if I know in Jamaica they got roots.
Yeah.
Y'all ever mess with that stuff? They
No.
claim it helps with the sexual energy.
When I went to the Bahamas, they said it was the conch, but I don't eat seafood, so too bad.
I'm sure. we could
Oysters
Google
are
something.
supposedly an aphrodisiac. Take
Yeah.
notes, people.
Shout out Natural Remedies and shout out Blue Chew.
Yes.
What about some other good 90s terms like getting chopped up?
Getting chopped up.
We won't even say what it means just in case there's kids listening, you know.
I don't even remember getting chopped up.
I know,
I
right?
don't remember
Now
that.
we're censoring.
Getting fresh, right? we've been bought out by the establishment people, and now we have to censor ourselves.
I don't even remember 90s lingo, really. I mean,
Fresh,
okay.
dope.
Well, dope's still kind of, I feel like, a thing.
Tight.
Oh, tight. My bad.
People
or
said
no, my
that's-
bad was
that's the
later.
bomb.
Oh, if you grew up in the Bay, it was Babby.
The Bay has the weirdest.
Yeah, I
terms.
don't.
Well, what's up with this too? The Bay Area slang in the '90s, cock. It meant the opposite of what you think it means. What it means
no,
now.
Well, and
right?
all over the world, cock went both ways. Not all over the world, but all over the
The
States.
cock went both ways.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Cock had the opposite meaning, so rappers would be like,
I'm
"I'm
trying
out
to
here
get in
trying
some
to
warm
get some.
cock.
I'm trying to get some cock."
Yeah, because I remember Mac Dre had
Never
a song
heard
that said that. If I wanted some cock, I made a hutch come through.
Oh.
And it's like, wait,
I
you
remember
wanted
that song.
cock? What?
Yeah.
Maybe
know
he's
that
talking
song.
about cockfighting.
But what was it then?
No, well, cock.
It
When I
means
say
like-
it went both ways, like if women said it, it meant dick, and if guys said it, it meant vagina.
Wow, I've never heard
Yeah,
of
so
a
you could use
vagina
it-
referred to as a cock.
Yeah, that's the
That's
crazy. In the Bay
crazy.
Area, that was a thing.
Even
Wow.
well,
For
in
like
other
5
places,
years
like
or
my
something.
homie from Cincinnati, he grew up in like Cincinnati and Cleveland and in that area, and it was the same thing for them too, like over there. So it was like all over.
But for a short period of time, and those songs don't
Yeah.
age well. You know. You
Yeah,
just-
I know. But yeah, also babby was another term for vagina.
Babby.
I just Mac and get all that
That's
babby.
horrible because that's what my kids started calling me. at one point.
So basically,
Basically,
they're
Sam's
calling him,
daughters called him pussy.
vagina.
Damn, man, they were just clowning me. They were roasting me. And I
Dang,
didn't
what
even know.
were some of the bit like?
I never understood that though too with like masculinity with sorry I didn't mean to cut you off, but like how like men call guys pussy as if like it's a bad thing, but like pussy's not a bad thing. But
Yeah,
so,
I know.
you know what I
actually
mean?
really do hate that. Like,
It's the same
'cause, like,
thing
it's
with,
saying
like,
you're
douche.
weak or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
But I
like-
mean, it's
yeah.
like people. There's always that like you throw like a girl or like
this toxic masculinity.
being a woman is bad or something. Probably
Bruh,
shouldn't eat Cheez-Its
listen.
on the mic. It's pretty loud.
I will.
I'm sorry, Alex.
I will say this. I
All
will
of the
say
people's
this.
ears.
We need Viagra for.
Wait, I'm sorry. Stevie said "In Too Deep." I just you remember that group?
In Too Deep
I
was
thought that
lit.
was a
Back to the
movie.
hotel. Anyways,
It was. In Too Deep.
Oh, I remember Back to the Hotel.
In Too Deep
Yeah,
had
Back
the
to the
craziest
Hotel.
scene I've ever seen in my life. That was one with LL Cool J and Omar Epps, and I will never forget. Somebody double crossed LL Cool J, and he was like, they called him God in the movie, and he was like the leader of the big gang or whatever. They caught this dude that was like stealing from him or something, like just skimming a couple of dollars off of the top, and they put him on the pig table like hog tied on his stomach. So
I can't watch it like
Oh,
bruh.
God.
And
Too
then
violent
they had,
for
like,
me.
burned him. And then when he came in, what he did was he grabbed a pool cue and shoved it in his
oh my
anus
God.
and said,
Why'd
"You
have
better
to tell
love
this
it."
whole story on the
I was like, dude, this was and I
It's like
rock
Pulp
with LL Cool J
Fiction.
even as
Mama
an
said
actor.
knock you out.
You
I'm
remember-
like, this
yeah.
is what they let this slide.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stevie sang into like the rap lyrics.
Oh yeah,
The rap lyrics.
Stevie says, "Okay, yeah, that was a good reference." Because Stevie said, "Gonna get some new cock." That
I
was
do
a line from that
remember.
song, "Back to the
Yeah.
Hotel." I'm gonna get some new cock.
So we're going to end this on a positive note since I just kind of went dark. We're going to end it on getting new cock. Shout out to vaccinations. Shout out to Tinder. Shout out to Netflix and Chill and all the new cock and all the babies that are going to be had.
Shout out to singles being allowed to hook up if they're
Mingle again.
vaccinated, according to the CDC.
That's really stupid.
Oh, shout out to Madeira
Kinda.
and shout out to Johnson & Johnson, or as I like to call them, the Maserati and the Honda. So whichever one you get that Maserati shot, or if you get the Honda shot, just stay safe out here. And
Shout out to Bill Gates, the reptilian that's putting a bunch of computer chips in us with vaccinations.
Yeah, are you getting a vaccination?
I got 2 already, baby. Let's go.
Oh, I'm scared. I can't
No,
talk
I
to you no
haven't
more.
gotten it yet.
I've been
I'm
going to kinky vaccination parties all week. Anyway,
This is the Furious George podcast with Legendarius 51.
Sam God and our special guest.
LaKeisha Mundy,
starting a
Monday
cult?
Yoga,
aka Mundy,
Follow her,
aka
join her cult.
Yoga
aka
cult.
Monday, Tuesday, Sunday.
And thanks to
Monday.
Alex Severson on the ones and twos and Remedy Review for streaming us.
We are, oh wow. Ali Flamingo is out here. Don't forget to put in your unicorn applications, beautiful ladies. They're lit.
And go check out my Drunken Kung Fu page.
Oh,
Check out our shows
Drunken
we
Kung
got
Fu on the 21st.
we
and
got
on
the
20th.
live stream is the 21st from Harlow's.
Europe.
Get on that, buy a ticket, and I'll send you the album directly to your inbox. And we're playing at Big Sec